I recently broke through a bit of a plateau in my body composition, and I want to talk about how that was possible. The first biggest shift that I had to make was I was just working out. I wasn't training for anything anymore. And when we work out, when we exercise, that's really amazing and great, but it doesn't lead to specific aesthetic or performance-based results. So I was just going through the motions with my workouts, with my programming, and I was kind of just like doing what I wanted. And that's totally fine. But if we're hyper-focused on seeing specific changes in our body composition, that is not enough. My kind of randomness was not enough, even though I know to not follow random IG workouts. I know that I have to have progressive overload. I know that I have to do all these things, but basically like I have less time to work out than I used to, and frankly I was just like, I'm gonna do what I want, and it didn't feel like this conscious like rebellion. I just assumed that it was fine, and basically it wasn't fine, and that's totally okay. There's a reason why in my Lean and Liberated program all my clients have customized periodized programs that get them to the results that they're looking for, and essentially like I just needed to rebuild that for myself. The second big shift was no longer ignoring the weaknesses that are literally causing me pain. So I have degenerative disc disease, and continuing to ignore the fact that I have weak glute mediuses, weak abductors, weak adductors, like it's not working out for me to ignore these things. And I want bigger glutes aesthetically, but also because of how it will improve my back. I am now seeing a physical therapist twice a week. I have been for almost 2 months. Works out really well because I'm also get to take my mother to PT and we go together. They're really nice. And I'm working with a personal trainer once a week. So outsourcing these problems to professionals has been really great. I was not addressing these issues well enough on my own. It's easy to kind of take a back seat and just be like, it'll be fine. But I have higher standards for myself. And frankly, it felt a little hypocritical for all of my clients who tell me that like they're in pain and things aren't getting better. Like I always tell them to go see a physical therapist. So, obviously we have to practice what we preach. Also, I'm really excited to announce that the new coach on my team is an expert in injury rehab. So that's also another big win for my program. But so those were the two biggest shifts. I always eat with intention. I always eat with care. My diet is 95% whole foods. That's the way I like it. That's the way I need it to be. While I have severe gut issues, frankly, that continue to go undiagnosed. But those have been the two really, really big shifts. And if you're on this journey and you're more advanced or you're newer and you don't have a specific plan, that's almost always where we're going wrong. And we wake up every morning and we expect to see change in the mirror. And it's like, it's just crazy. It's like as if you wanted to learn French, but you haven't been practicing and you've just been speaking or reading Spanish. Like if you actually want to get better, if you actually want to see specific changes, you have to address those issues, those things that aren't working. So I really, really encourage you to be honest with yourself like I was and say, is it fair that I'm frustrated that I'm not seeing results? Because frankly, when I did that, I realized that it wasn't, and I wasn't actually setting myself up for success. I was setting myself up for failure. And as soon as I realized that and got out of my own way, that's when things really started to change. And I'll also be honest, continuing to use self-tanner and prioritize inflammation reduction is another big win for me, and feeling like I'm not puffy and inflamed all the time, it makes a really big difference. So the better I feel physically, the better I treat myself, the more intentional I am with everything, and it just kind of continues to reinforce all of my choices. And that's another really big aspect and win of my journey that I hope you will also take into account.